Good morning. I'm Dr. Cheryl Clarke, and I'm excited to be with you today. This is the first, this recording is the first Tuesday of the year, and I'm excited to be with you today. And this is our power call. Go share out the link. Go tell somebody that we are on and we're making it happen this morning. And I got a wonderful power call for you this morning. So I'm going to share one link. I'm going to share it out with a couple of people right now to let them know, listen, I'm live. Tell them to come on in and let them know that this is the day that you can get free with your voice. Dr. Cheryl is on and she talks a lot about the power of your voice, the power of understanding your voice, and the power of being present with your voice. This is your opportunity to realize that your voice matters. And in this space, sometimes we don't realize our voice matters. Sometimes we don't realize that when we're talking and what we're saying, that our voice matters in a very poignant way. And we need to learn how to use it and how to use it effectively. All right, so if this is your first time here, I am Dr. Cheryl Clarke, and I'm the writer and the author of Girl You Cute. And in the very beginning of this book, I talk about how the declaration, the Speak Your Power Now declaration, we're going to start with that. All right? Take a nice, slow, deep breath into the nostrils if you can, if you're safe to do so. And exhale that out. And repeat silently to yourself after me. Today I reclaim my power of purpose. Today I declare that I have unshakable faith and confidence in my uniqueness. Today I declare that I will not live in fear, but with power, love, and a sound mind. Today I declare that I always communicate with words to empower myself and others. Today I declare to always honor myself by living in the present and living powerfully in each moment. Amen and Ashe. All right, so today I thought I would start off with something that I think that would really help you understand why I do what I do in regards to the voice. Why do people usually sit? That I think that's the first thing that usually happens after the voice is taken away, and how you communicate in regards to how I say something versus talking and versus communicating. So today I want to talk a little bit about how you communicate, how you regulate your voice, how things are moving with your life, but you may not understand why this is happening and how is this happening. So I want you to look at how your voice matters in this moment. Now, this is the very beginning of the year, and I want you to actually, when we're going through this today, I want you to actually see how you show up. In 2026, this power call today, this one is about how you're going to regulate first. This is the first thing you want you to do is regulate first, speak second. And then we're going to tap into the speaking your power now. And what does that really mean? Speaking your power isn't about volume. It is not about how loud you are. It's really about clarity. It's really about the timing. And it's really about self-trust. So today, I want to talk about why I even named my company Speak Your Power Now. And to be very clear about it, it's because in the very beginning, I felt like my voice was not clear. I felt like I was communicating, but I was really talking. So I had to learn the tools of how to begin to find my voice. And I want to be very clear what it does not mean. It doesn't mean that you talk more, talk louder, or say everything that's on your mind, because that's another thing, or forced to be confident, right? That you sometimes we're forced, you gotta be confident, you gotta be, but learning that Speak Your Power Now was created because I saw so many, especially brown and black women, being told that their voice, they was told to use their voice without ever being taught how to tap their inner power to actually use their voice, right? Because the system that we're working with sometimes is not for us, right? And we know that. So speaking with your power means I need to learn how to speak in clarity when there's chaos going around me and how to find my voice. Speaking with intention, not reactive, not reactivated by what's happening around me. And I had to learn to regulate my nervous system and not to be so much in survival mode because I did struggle with anxiety. I still have some anxiety, but it's under control. There was a time when I had to have medication for my anxiety because it was just that bad. I had situation anxiety in the plane, the things of that nature, or in crowds. If I have to speak, my hands would be sweaty. And, it's still normal nervousy, but it would take me out to space. So it means that when you are understanding, when you have clarity, when you have intention, when you have regulation of your nervous system, that means that you are aligned and you know what you're going to say. That means your voice, what you know what you're going to say, you know what you desire, and what you're attempting to move through. So understanding that I've seen brilliant women go silent. I've also saw brilliant women go off and get unhinged. That was me, including me. And I even sometimes I went silent. Not because of lack of confidence, but because of how do I, because if I didn't speak, there'd be consequences. But if I did speak up, then I was aggressive and then that was consequences. And no one really taught us how to navigate that. Because I saw my mother, when my mother would feel like she was attacked, she was going to go off. Or she went silent. She went silent. So today is a brand new year. Today is starting right now. And I want to say this. Even if you're watching this later on and it's not a brand new year, you can still take this message of how do I speak in a way that actually works for me. So I'm going to give you some tools that work across the board, but I also want you to look at you, right? I want you to look at how many of us that our voices have been very neutral, right? Being misunderstood at times, being labeled difficult. Sometimes you're penalized for talking up, being ignored. So, what we learn to do is we learn to stay quiet. We often learn to, I would say, put some bass in your throat, have a soft, and maybe I could say this, put some bass in your throat. We over explain. That used to be me, over explaining myself. And then I'm going to read the room before I speak. You can still read the room, but I want you to look at, do I read the room? And because it was in the room, I don't say anything. That wasn't weakness. That was your intelligence kicking into how to be safe. But see, what I want you to know, here's the problem that we're not going to move into this year. Because as a therapist, we look at the problem, right? But as a solution focused therapist, I look at what's the strengths that you already have. And I believe your strength is that you have the strategies to survive, right? But now I want to give you the strategies to thrive. I want you to tap in to who you really are. I want you to tap into that power that's within you. And when you get frustrated, when you have things that are going on around you, what do I say? What don't I say? Do I say it later? What's moving with me? See, the thing is, I want you to move in that situation where you can have your nervous system regulated and move with your power. and speak your power now, with never to disempower anybody. Because when you move with your power from within, you can impact. But this is what I want you to find out. This is what I found out about voice and speaking and communicating. It's important for you. This is how it works along with your behaviors. Your voice and behaviors, they work together. Because you can say one thing and do another. How many of we've heard that before? You say one thing, but you do another thing. So I need you to connect the two. So power works through understanding the timing, understanding the position, understanding that you have emotional control, right? So that goes with you being inquisitive, asking different questions. Not, now, how do I express myself? It's what changes. Now, what you ask yourself, how do I express myself? No. What changes is after I speak up. Here's what many of women of color get misled about. Just be authentic. Just speak your truth. But sometimes being authentic without a strategy comes with a cost. Let's be real about that. Power doesn't just move because you said something. Power moves because of what you said that shifted the room. And what to do with your body, your voice, to make you safe enough to think that you can even speak. So the first thing I told you is that you recognize that your voice does matter. And then you have to do the first thing is regulate it. So this is the part where no one talks about. This is the part where we may become a little unhinged. Because when we are triggered, right, before your voice reaches your mouth, because it comes from your nervous system. Before your voice reaches your mouth and those galloping horses goes out to say something, it has to pass through your nervous system. And your nervous system is reactivated or activated. It's braced for defense or it's flooding with different memories. You got to look and see what's happening when I'm hearing something. Right? Then I want you to look at, does my voice disappear? Does my voice rush to explain? Does my voice rush to over explain? Or does my voice come out sharp? So I want you to look at that. So before you talk about something, think about, how do I speak my power now? And we have to have regulation in our nervous system. So how do we do that, Cheryl? You pause. You choose your words intentionally. You read the moment and you speak with authority. I was going to share this, but I am going to share. She probably shared herself, but a girlfriend of mine told me a story this weekend about how she had to pause in the moment and regulate herself because she felt, she was about to go. She got triggered by this person. She paused and she reintroduced herself to reset it, not with urgency, but so she can regain her power of speaking her power now. Sometimes when you're triggered and you don't know that you're triggered, see, my thing, I was very sharp with my words. Some of you disappear. This is why speaking your power now is not about courage. It's about your capacity of what you have learned to do. So what speak your power now is actually looking like these days is that now that you've regulated your body, I want you to practice this all throughout this year. Just take it on for this year. Regulate your body before you speak. You breathe, you ground yourself, and slow down. Then I want you to observe the story that may be running in your head. Observe that story that may be running in your head, because when you walk into this room and say, oh my God, I don't belong here, they won't get it, so let me not say it. I have to prove myself, so let me just over talk and let me find big words. Then that means that your observation of yourself has turned into emotion. So you got to choose. The next thing you got to choose is decide in the moment. It's what I'm going to begin to speak with power and clarity. And that you're not there for approval. That sometimes power speaks, sometimes power waits, and sometimes power moves through someone else. However, the strategy is if it's you that are supposed to deliver it, you will know. You won't actually know because then you will be able to tap into something that you already had in you all along. See, this whole thing that you're doing and regulating yourself and being in that, but when you start talking, right, your nervous system gets deregulated. And then you start talking to survive. But I want your nervous system to begin to communicate, to lead. So when your brain starts getting amygdala hijack, that's what we call the part of the brain, that's when fear sets in and takes over. And you can't strategically think in that moment because your emotions have taken over. So now you're talking from your emotions and not intention. You're reactivated, and that's not powerful. Your communication becomes unclear. But when you're regulated, it's like you become very much so aligned. You have clear thought. You can access strategy now, and you can communicate with intention. And then you could communicate effectively. So when you're moving through this week, I want you to do your body scan. And then I want you to hold your breath and begin to ground yourself and talk. But if you skip that regulation, if you skip the regulating of yourself and you start talking, communication is out the window. Listen, you don't have to be perfect, right? You do not have to be perfect. But when you start to get regulated, you will find the perfect words, the perfect timing. But if your nervous system comes on a threat, your delivery will be off. Your voice will be shaky, you'll be in defense mode, and you'll be uncertain. So this is what I want you to take away today. Regulate your tone. Clear communication always starts with regulating yourself. Observe what's happening inside of you. Observe your own story. Don't judge it. Just understand. Then after you observe it, ask yourself, what's going on? Name it. Move through it. Is this story even true? Am I present? Choose your intentional words. And that way you can have the clearest communication with clarity. And when you feel unclear in your communication, Just take a moment. Just take a moment and walk through that with power. All right. I hope this was great and to you today. I want to see anybody got any comments or anything that anybody would like to say right now. This is your time to open your mics or raise your hand or put a comment in the chat. Everybody's good? Well, I hope this was helpful. Let me see, did anybody write anything? If I'm not missing anything today.
Good morning. I was trying to unmute my microphone. Good morning,
Good,
Cheryl. Good morning,
good
everyone.
morning, Alba. How
Dr.
are you?
Cheryl. I'm well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Good to hear your voice.
And good to hear yours too. Just wanted to say, hearing you speak about nervous systems and regulating before we speak up and stuff like that was very affirming because I was just on Pinterest this morning. I have the widget on my phone and it was sharing stuff about regulating your nervous system and um, some of the ways to like some soothing ways to ease your nervous system. And I was looking at them and I was really thinking about like when I feel anxious, especially in motherhood and throughout my day. And some of those tools I didn't realize I was using that were helping me. And so now, like, just hearing you speak on it as well as someone I really trust, um, I feel so affirmed moving forward because I know my nervous system is so dysregulated sometimes. So thank you.
You are welcome, Alba. Thank you so much for doing that and saying that and speaking up for that. That's wonderful. And also, you know what? When you look at that, I want you to see how sometimes our nervous system, we don't think that even in public and private, we got to sometimes the way we communicate in public and private is we just got to make sure that our voices are regulated. My good friend Lachelle.
Good morning, beautiful.
Good.
Um, Thank you for this work that you do. I was thinking while this is going on is that it's so important to keep the right people around you, um, because learning how to speak your power in the way that you are coaching is so valuable. Many of us over the years have taken counsel from unqualified voices.
Mm.
And it adds to, we think we're doing the right thing. Like you said, we go from silence to aggression. We're really being coached by people who are coaching from places of pain, trauma, or just really lack of understanding. And letting people even put batteries, as they would say, they put a battery in your back, and just taking the wrong counsel, just incorrect counsel. So, for me, really, when I think about when you pair your training for me with Holy Spirit, I can't go wrong.
Mm.
It's a win-win. I
Mm.
pause, I listen, I take counsel from the Holy Spirit, and then I learn practical tools like this. This is powerful. And so I think my takeaway was just really just we some of us, especially women of color, we even sitting in those circles where we say, oh, we sitting at the feet of wise women. Some of them weren't that wise. They were just old. So that's all I got this morning.
I love my friend. I love my friend. Oh God, I love her. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know something? I want to say this. Uh, I thank God for my profession because it taught me. I did not know people need to go to therapy. Let me just say, people need to go see a therapist. People need a therapist. What we do for a living, there are so many tools. But what I learned becoming a therapist, let me tell you what I learned becoming a therapist. A lot of the theories was done by older white men. Let me just say this. Older white men that there's a gap. Now, there has been some work throughout the years that have talked about, slavery, that has talked about depression, has talked about how they used schizophrenia as the mental health. They misdiagnosed us. Our community is always being misdiagnosed. So there's always gaps that we, as colors, there's only 7% of therapists that are women. That I want to say women, people of color, including men, and men are even lower on the totem pole that is part of this profession. So I believe that I had a duty when I used to see people of color come into my office, and I would normalize them, but then give them the tools to begin to see themselves that they can do something different. I didn't know there was different ways of speaking. I didn't know there was different areas of talking, authoritative, aggressive, passive aggressive, passive. I had no idea. And this is why. But I also had to learn how to control my nervous system when I'm triggered. So if someone touches my hair, boundaries. If someone says that I'm aggressive, boundaries. How do I now be able to not be reactivated by that, but then move in a solution-based situation? So I appreciate that. Let me go to the chat. Charlotte says, good morning, Dr. Cheryl. Hi, Charlotte. How may we hear this? Oh, she says, how may we hear this morning call again? I have a YouTube channel. It's called Speak Your Power Now. All of the recordings, please go tell someone that it's on there. All of the recordings are on there. And not even the recordings, I have teachings on there about how to regulate yourself. I have a lot of teachings that I did on there. Go look at that because it will help you. Speak Your Power Now. And maybe I don't know if Sharonda could put it in there. And it's our YouTube channel. And that way you can just go and then also sign up at speakyourpowernow.com. We're going to have the power of her voice. I have beautiful Lachelle Bolter. She is one of my honorees this year. So we want you to be a part of it because you know something? I believe that when we go up, we all go up. So this is your opportunity to understand that. Subscribe. Go ahead and tell somebody about what I do here. And you can continue to re-listen to it over and over and over again at the Speak Your Power Now channel. I'm going to attempt to go get it now over here. It's just that simple. Speak Your Power Now. And then I'm going to put my channel in there so you guys can go ahead and visit that YouTube channel. And there we are. Okay, perfect. Okay, everybody. I believe this is it. The Speak Your Power Now channel. And yeah, and I'll put it in the chat. All right. Thank you so much for being here today. God bless you all. And I hope to see you next time. Remember to share out the link. Be safe. And this is the first day of regulating you, observing you, and speaking your power now. Have a blessed day.
You are enough. Your voice is divine. Now